This video, we're going to talk about systems. So systems can help increase the speed, efficiency, and effectiveness that you deliver your products and services and the rate in which you grow. All of it will be determined by a system. Now, you can have a system be no system, and it's kind of like going to the gym and winging it every day, right? Or you can write a routine down, have a meal plan, and get the results that you're looking for. So in business, it applies to the same thing. So systems allow for speed, efficiency, and organization. I'm going to talk about a few different systems I implement and how they've helped me. For recruiting, what I do for recruiting is I have 2 assistants that I pay part-time. So they work about 20 hours a day, okay, each of them. The reason why I do that instead of one working, or 20 hours a week, the reason why I do that is because they can work during the times when people are most receptive, right? So I have 2 people at the same time just cranking through a bunch of stuff, and they seem to be a lot more, they get a lot done in a short period of time rather than just having work a full day, and they could get bogged down in the same mundane stuff. So we work on, for recruiting, what they do is they go through my recruiting campaigns, whether it's on Indeed, ZipRecruiter, Craigslist, whatever I'm using to recruit at the time, and they respond to the applicants that submit a application on Indeed, ZipRecruiter, Craigslist, whatever source it is, or through Indeed resume search, which is great system to use. You can actually view resumes that people have, and you can send them a message, and if they're interested in the message, then they can respond and say that they want more information on the job. So what they do is and license agent contact lists too. So they go through license agent lists and they set up interviews for me. So what I have them do is set up interviews for every half hour from 10 to 7. Okay, so every half hour I have 3 interviews scheduled per block. Every half hour. That's my goal, to have my whole week from 10 to 7 blocked up with interviews from 3 people. Now, we don't always get that. But the reason why I do 3 at a time is because there's about a 30% show rate. So in those blocks, when sometimes there aren't any filled up, so some of them are empty, but there's going to be times when people don't show up. So that'll give you time to handle other stuff, whether you want to do one-on-one training with an agent or sales or admin stuff that you need to take care of, emails. So if you book 3 at a time, there's going to be blocks when people don't show up. So I book 3 at a time because statistically speaking, 1 person will show up for every meeting. Okay, it ends up working out pretty much like that at the end of the week. If I booked 100 interviews, about 35 show up, maybe 30 to 40 show up. Okay. So that's what a system I use for my recruiting scheduling. Now, when I get on the phone with a recruit, I bring them through the same process, a recruiting candidate. So I like to get to know them. I like to learn about them and see how this position can help them accomplish their goals. It's just like a sale, because when you try to sell someone on a product, if you're not making it about them, if you make it about the product and the commission, then you're not going to get the client as easy. You're not going to convert the client as easy. So when recruiting for insurance agents, you want to find out what's important to them, what their goals are, what makes them tick. If they don't have goals and nothing make them tick, you don't want that person showing up. They're not even thinking on that level, because this is a hard position. Like, don't get it twisted. This is a hard job. Most people are not going to make $100,000 their first year, if ever, right? You have to put in the work. So, and the reason why is, I'm not even going to get into that, but it's possible. There are plenty of people who do it. All I'm saying is that you want to make sure that you're evaluating people correctly. So part of the system with recruiting, in those half-hour blocks, when I get someone on the phone for a half hour, I talk about them. What's important to them? What are their goals? What are they looking to accomplish? What are they looking for in a position? What are they dealing with right now that they would like help with? And then I show them how this position can help remedy whatever pain they're feeling. So you want to find a pain point. Why does someone want money? Oh, I want to take care of my family. Oh, why is that? Is anything going on right now? Well, stuff's not easy. Anything specific that you're dealing with? I'm not trying to pry. I've been through a lot of stuff too. Oh, my parents can't afford my mom's medication. She's really sick. I want to be able to help out with that. Boom. Now you got a way to show them how you can help them accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. And then you remember that, because that's going to be fuel for them to keep going once they start, right? So that's part of the system. I have my assistants, which they're absolutely amazing. They work very, very hard every day. They book appointments every 3 interview appointments every half hour from 10 to 7, and then that's how I approach the interview. When someone is completed with the interview, I then invite them to the office for a second interview, because I don't want someone I don't want a dud showing up to the office, right? So they come into the office for a second interview, round 2. So they have to show up to 2 appointments, because if they can show up to 2 things, there's probably a good chance that they'll show up to work, right? In a 1099 position, it's easy to not work if you don't have anybody like looking over your shoulder. So if they're motivated enough to come twice, I like that. And then I present them the idea or the offer again. We run a personality assessment. I answer any questions they have, and then I try to get them to buy the course for pre-licensing right there, or I give them the information if they don't have a card on them. Usually if they don't buy it there, they don't end up buying it at all. So I try to get them to get it right there to get started. Next, and then after an agent goes through that, I follow up once a week. So on Sundays, I'll reach out to the people studying or in contracting and get them and see where they're at, where their progress is at. One thing I want to start doing for onboarding is have it on like the 1st and the 15th. So like 2 onboarding days a month. I'll get into why in a second, because of training right here. So in a training system. By onboarding agents together, I'm thinking it would be what that will help with, and I've tried to start implementing that, is have a training curriculum that people can follow over a 2-week period as they're getting used to their sales, okay? So I assign each new agent a trainer, a downline from me so it's me, their trainer, and them essentially, so there's a chain of command there. Now their upline their trainer gets an override on them. Okay, and I'm generous with the overrides because I want it worth it for people to grow. I think that in order to grow faster, I have to sacrifice some of the income now to grow on a larger scale. It's like I'd rather have a small piece of a massive pond than a big piece of a small pond, right? That's my mentality there. So I have a training curriculum now where it's like a 7 to 10 topics. I may be able to get it down to 6 or 7. And we'll cover them once a day for an hour from me, and then they'll work with their trainers throughout the day as well. Shadowing, people come in, they shadow, they go through our video training, and then I cover other stuff in an hour session every day in a group Zoom call. Okay, so remember here, in developing a training system, you want to have people that help you and that are financially rewarded for it. So after you have your recruiting base, a mistake I made was having so many people reporting directly to me and not having enough people getting enough financial motivation to actually like step in and take that full training responsibility with me. Okay, so because I want to have executives that the agents report to, me and then my executives, and then the agents report to them, and they build their divisions, right? And we train on a sales system. So we have a specific script we follow, we have specific tonalities that we use, specific underwriting tools, and a specific system for every part of the sales process so that it's duplicatable. Now, systems are great because they're duplicatable. So because I have my recruiting organized, I can then have onboarding organized, which will then mean training is organized, which will help set the tone to have an organized sales system. Now, the point of a sales system that you want to have is have every sale really the same from the beginning to the end. You know, you may use a different carrier, clients are going to have different situations, but every sale should be the same from the beginning to the end. And it's in between, though, it's customized for the specific client they're talking with. But bottom line, you want to have a duplicatable system for sales that you train on. And I can go over a little bit of that in depth in another video. And then another system that I implement is for scheduling. So scheduling helps me make sure I get a lot done in a short amount of time. A lot of the agents in the office will attest to me never not working. I'm always doing something. I'm always either recruiting, training, or helping close the deal. One of those 3 things, or planning and developing a system for further growth. So if you're not doing one of those 3 things, recruiting, training, or closing deals as a team builder, then you're just not doing what you need to do, right? As an agency builder, and thinking further, thinking a few steps ahead. Right, because I want to implement systems now. When you're building an agency, you want to implement systems when you got a 5-person team, right? For when you got a 500-person team. So I have a 30-something person team. So what I made a mistake was not implementing the tools necessary to handle a 300-person team when I had a 5-person team, right? So you want to start developing those systems right from the beginning and tweak them as you go along. And if you have a successful system, you don't change anything about it. Use it. So scheduling, what I do for scheduling is every Sunday, I write my goals down that I'm trying to accomplish quarterly, annually, not pipe dreams, like actual goals. They're specific things I want to accomplish. How much weight do I want to gain? How many times do I want to go on a date with Vicky? How many agents do I want to have? What do I want our production to be? How many books do I want to read? How many videos do I want to make? How many YouTube followers do I want? Stuff like that. I make those finite goals, and then I set my week out in a system so that I can get as much stuff done possible towards accomplishing those goals. I had a lot of interviews today. I trained agents. I did some motivational stuff with some other agents who needed a little pick-me-up. I'm on a YouTube video right now because I want 1,000 YouTube followers, and it's about 7 p.m. And I have had all my meals throughout the day, and I worked out this morning. So the system that I've developed for my scheduling, for my daily routine, really helps go a long way to ensure, like, okay, if I do this every day and I don't reach my goals, then something's really, really wrong, or at least get closer, right? Then there's another system I have to implement, actually, to help me get close to my goal. So really wanted to go over how important systems are. Once again, if you're building an agency, you want to develop a system for recruiting, right? You don't just want to wing it. You want to develop a system for training agents that come in, for retention, and for quick onboarding. You want to develop a system for sales to help people get sales, and then and get sales faster and learn the sales process better. You want to have a system for scheduling. Granted, you can't hold people's hand through everything. There comes a time and place when people just have to learn for themselves and do what they're be resourceful and be independently motivated. But you know, in general, for most of the things in business and growth, you can develop a system. So I hope this helps some people with the question of, hey, how do I even like start to grow an agency out? It's all systems. Develop a system for recruiting, develop a system for training the people you recruit, develop a system for the sales process, and develop a system for your own life so that every day you stick to a system. I promise you get a lot more time in the day than you think. You'll be able to get it all done. Thank you, everybody.